Hey, I'm Mikko, and this is a painting I'm calling Hanami. For this painting I did a drawing, which I don't do for all paintings, but for this I had pretty clear idea what I wanted to do. I saw this kind of like fat bunny that is slightly like Totoro-esque in shape, and it also has stars inside it. I wanted to just follow that idea that I had in a dream. Basically, I wanted to get the plan down as quickly as possible, so I wanted to draw that really quickly here. At this point, I didn't know that if I'm gonna do like a full painting or this more graphic style, quick shape style that I've been doing lately in a few paintings. So I thought that I'm doing just color blocking, but in the end I decided to go with this kind of more painterly look where I paint everything by hand. Maybe for fun. It has been some time since I did it the last time. And also I decided to use a lot of purple because that's really difficult for me. I think purple is one of those colors that even in a very dark and low saturation level, it kind of really easily overpowers everything. And that's why I've been using so much purple recently, is that I just want to learn how to use that color and not be too scared of using it. So why not start? Part of the fun of doing this piece is, and this is the reason why this is not really a tutorial, I'm just trying out new techniques, is that I decided to try this technique where I'm painting the silhouette of the background tree and bushes into one layer that is locked. Then I add this kind of gradient effect to them by painting, blocking in colors, and then like using strong Gaussian blur. And now I'm adding one more layer on top of that, and I'm doing these smaller foliage parts on top of it. So I'm thinking of the background layer, the silhouette, as kind of what you see inside the tree, and these things that I'm adding on top of it is what is the surface of the tree for the person who is looking at the tree from the ground. So from between the foliage, like this is my theory, you should see shadows that are inside the tree, and those should like gradually get darker as you go into the middle parts of the tree, because there are more leaves around to create that shade. That's the theory. I don't know if it works, but that's what I decided to try with this one. And it's kind of a fun technique, I think, because when having this sort of like a strict workflow, it's very easy to look at the tasks ahead that like, okay, I just need to do this 1, 2, 3 and then I'll be done. So if this works, it will be worth it, I guess. At this point I'm taking away the line art because I have all the main elements already in the picture, and the line art is kind of distracting me because I'm not gonna keep it in the end anyway. So I don't need it. I know that some people like to just fill in line art with color, and I just find that very stressful. And I don't want to make that strict decisions when I'm doing a sketch. I want to keep things open. So for example, if I have a color idea, I don't want the line art to restrict me for what I can do with the picture. I'm painting this piece in a very high resolution, so these few layers that I have for the trees, it's basically just 2 layers. It's very strict on all the special effects happening in this image, because I'm gonna add all these fog and multiple light effects on top of everything, but I can only do it on about 3 layers because the resolution is very high. I just thought that this might be a fun thing to put into my print store, so that's why I sometimes paint in very high resolution. One of my ideas for these branches of the tree was to make them very light, almost white, but once I tried it very quickly, I thought that since I don't see the main trunk of the tree, it would look kind of weird to have these kind of like lightning rods sticking out of the bunny. So I decided to de-emphasize that part by making them quite dark. And for the light source, I don't add too much contrast to the foliage because the tree is not really the main focal point of this piece. So the highlights and the dark parts, they don't have a lot of contrast in between each other. At this point, I still know that I'm gonna add stars to the main bunny in this picture, and I'm gonna leave it as a last thing because I know that that is the part that is gonna be the most fun for me to paint. It's gonna motivate me to finish the other parts so that I can get to the fun candy part. I don't know if you saw this earlier, but like I had no idea what I'm gonna do to the ground. And if you look at it closely, it's basically a mess. At this point, I decided like, okay, I don't have a clear idea what I want to do with this grass. So I just want to have like fun candy color brushstrokes all over the place, just because this is what I enjoy doing right now, and I decided to just go for it, I guess. I don't know if it makes sense, but visually it makes sense for me. And this smoke fog effect is done by just slapping few brushstrokes into the background, and then I use strong Gaussian blur, and then I use liquify tool to create this sort of like string-like elements of the fog, and then I duplicate the string-like fog multiple times, and then I repeat the process until I have enough detail that I have the effect that I want to do. And now I get to paint the stars, which is the best thing ever. And they are turning into petals, I guess. I don't know what my reasoning was there, but it's a very intuitive painting. And I think at this point I'm having a lot of fun with the way that it's coming together. In the beginning it seemed kind of not that motivating, but I knew that these stars are gonna be fun to paint, so I'm really happy that I got to that part. And I did a lot of color adjustments at the end, and even this kind of like additive glow to the bunny to just make that the most saturated high contrast part of the image so that you would look at it. Okay, I'm sorry that this is kind of so random because it's an experimental type of a video, but I hope somebody learned something from this. If this technique works, let me know if you want to have like a full tree painting tutorial at some point, and I might make that for you guys. And thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!